How's it going, everyone? Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me for another video. I'm back down the local day ticket. It's Monday the 26th of January, so that's 2 Mondays in a row I've managed to get myself down here, so that's happy days. You'll see sort of behind me it's pitch black. It's just gone 7 o'clock, so I'm first on the complex. I've got in a swim I want to be in. We're carrying on basically from last week. You know, I've come back in the same swim that I did on the Tuesday when I was here, because the fish, if they was here then, they should still be here now. So let me spin you around and try and show you something of what's happening, but at the moment it's pitch black. But my first thing I'm going to do is get some bait in, so let's see what's going in. You'll have to excuse the poor light quality. It is still, well, if I shine over there, pretty much pitch black still. It's going to be a little while before it's light, but that gives me a chance to show you this. We've got 2 kilos of 15mm trick nut down there. Over the course of today, I don't mind if that goes in. Not all in this video. There's going to be at least 2 videos made today, maybe 3, depending how this one goes. But in there, it's 15mm trick nut, souped up with a bit of Bailey's, a bit of trick nut glug, and some crumb trick nut boilie. So that's what all this sort of stuff here, as you can see. Looks like a bit of crumb and stuff. That's all stuck to the baits, and as they go out there, they just sort of like fall off out there. So it's just a bit more attractant, I think. Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But I've come back on the concrete bank, or the concrete swims, whatever you call them. The ones with this peg with the steps down. I have been in here before. I thought I had. Looking back on videos, yeah, I've definitely been here before, other than last Tuesday. But when we was in here, the fish were definitely here. So let's have a little wander down, because I think the water level looks like it's slightly higher. I'd have to check back, but I don't think it was quite this far up the bank, because it's sort of back to here now. I don't think it was. I thought it was like on the edge of there, but I might be wrong. But speaking of water, let's just have a look in this edge, because we did show some pellets in the edge here before. It looks quite clear still, which is nice. I've had a lot of rain, because I want to try and use my GoPro. I've brought that today, and we're going to have a go with the GoPro and see if we can do some sort of underwater rig shots, releasing of the fish, etc. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Don't hold me to it. I don't even know if it's going to work, because I'm not very clued up with stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going to get set up now. It's absolutely bloody freezing. I'm going to get some bait in, and I'll bring you back when it's light enough to show you what we're doing, because this is a viewer request, and I'm looking forward to this one. And I think it'll be interesting to see if it is possible, because you've probably read from the title, can you catch a carp on the same rig using a pop-up, a wafter and a bottom bait, all fished on the same rig? Does it work? Don't know. That's what this video is about. So I'll see you shortly after I've got some bait in and it's light. Well, we've got some bait out there. About a fifth of the bag's gone out, about 2/3 of the way across, scattered all around. It is becoming light. It looks lighter than it actually is. This phone, or my old phone as well, used to do it. Shows it lighter than it is. It's still, I can't see the far side of the lake, whereas looking through the phone I can. The rods, they are on the buzzers all ready to go. They're all set. Got the unhooking mat there, 2 landing nets. I've just got to chuck my carp care kit bottle in there, because we are going to catch a fish on this video. We're going to catch a maximum of 3 fish. That's the maximum fish that can be shown in this video. All will become clear once I get down there and show you the rigs, rod setup, etc., and explain the request in a bit more detail. But it's a very clever, well thought out viewer request, this one. So I am excited to see how this one goes. You've already seen from the title, can you catch a carp on the same rig using a pop-up, a wafter and a bottom bait, or however I've titled the video, whether it's in that order or not, I don't know. But it's very clever how the actual video stroke session is going to go because of the request. But anyway, I shall bring you back once I've finished that. Cheers all, first one of the vlog. I'm going to finish that and we're going to get on with it regardless how light or dark it still is. So I'll see you shortly. I don't know why I didn't think of this about 15 minutes ago. We could have had the bloody rods up by now, but never mind. Right, I'm going to show you what the rig is. The viewer has requested, I'm just going to point this out, you can use any hook bait you want, any kind of attraction you want, any kind of rod setup you want. The rig has to be identical. So this, I need to shorten it down by 1 inch to match the length of these 2, because it is longer than those 2. I have noticed that now, I've bloody done it, but never mind. So I'll sort that out. But the rig is identical, okay? It's a size 5 thinking anglers wide gape curve point hook. All 3 rigs have got that on. There is, I can't remember what the rig rings are, but they're the medium size. They've all got the same on. Bit of shrink tube, they've all got that on. the heavy tungsten sinkers. I think they come off eBay from, I think, Bank Tackle I got them from, but they are the heaviest ones they do. Even though a bottom bait, it doesn't need that to work, it would work fine. Same with the wafter, it would work fine. I need the tungsten to hold this bloody pop-up down, or to pin it so it sort of sits like that. So the pop-up is going to sit like that, the wafter's just going to sort of sit like that, and the bottom bait is probably going to sit how it's sitting now. But it has to be the same. That is the viewer request. It has to be identical. So although the hook baits are different in colour and buoyancies, etc., they're all tipped off with the same bit of pink corn. They're all going to be the same length once I sort it out. So I'll just show you quick. I've got the 14mm Scopex and cream hemp pop-up, the 14mm plum goo wafter, and that's a 15mm trick nut that I've soaked up. You'll see there I've reloaded my pot of paste, and then I've got my pot of plastics which is soaking in. I think that's STICKYBAITS. I think it's the mould squirty stuff. It's really, really fruity. It's nice. It's good for your plastics, that. So let me bring you outside, because it looks like it's getting light. It's not, but that is going to be the rig setup itself. So everything is identical except from the hook baits. The viewer has also requested that I can only fish, this is the good bit, this is where it's been thought out very well, I can only fish one of each rig on one rod. So one rod's going to have a pop-up, one rod's going to have a bottom bait, one rod's going to have the wafter. If I'm fortunate enough to catch a fish on any rod, that rod remains on the rest for the rest of that session. It doesn't mean I can put a secondary rig out that hasn't yet caught a fish. So by the end of this video, I want all three of those rods doing what they're doing now, because that means I've been successful. If all three are still out in the lake, that means I've failed. So each time I catch a fish, I'm dropping down a rod. I can cast as many times as I want. I can use whatever rod setup I want, paste, goo, pellets, whatever, it doesn't matter. All they've stated is you can only use one of the rigs on one of the rods, and that is it. It either catches or it doesn't, and the rigs have to be identical. I think that's really cleverly thought out. They've also said if you've done it before your time allowance you allow is up, then that's the end of it. And if you haven't achieved it by whatever time you're allowing, then it's been unsuccessful. So it's more like a viewer request stroke challenge. They've asked to remain anonymous, which is a real shame, because I think that there's a lot of thought gone into that. It's not just where sort of like it's been a suggestion of a rig or a bait or a style. They've actually sort of laid out the script for this video. You know, I don't even have to really think what I'm doing on this one. All I've got to do is basically do what I've done. Tie an identical rig up, put 3 different presentation baits on it, set some rods up, cast them out, see what happens. So as for the rod setup, it's going to be the same as always. The 15 pound KORDA subline, down to the dark matte tungsten tubing, KORDA run sleeve, size 8 quick change swivel, 3 ounce. These are not atomic gripper leads though, I've changed them. I've bought some different leads. So these are, I don't know if they're called anchors, I might be wrong. I got them off eBay, but I've got them in a different style. So this is a textured one. On the middle rod, I've got the original atomic gripper that I had on the last session. And then on the right hand rod, if I can get it, I've got a smooth textured one. So I'm just seeing, for my own sort of benefit, does the paste grip round a textured lead better than a smooth lead? I don't know, because I'm going to be using my paste and dipping it and etc. Like I say, I'm allowed to do all that. But I just want to see if a coating of a lead makes a difference regarding the paste, because a lot of you have got a lot of interest in that paste, and yeah, I can see why, because it is good. But for now, I am going to get that rig shortened by 1 inch, the pop-up one, and then we're going to get a rod set up and we're going to get them out, because it's light enough now. I've shown you what's going on. It's time to start and try catch 3 fish. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's light enough to be able to show you what's happening now. So I've got my paste. I've wrapped the lead in that, as always. Dipped it in the trick nut primer. I've actually added a load of the STICKYBAITS Manila Cloudy liquid to it as well. It's thinned it out a little bit too much, to be honest. It still works, but not as good as it did with just the straight primer. So I may have to bite the bullet and pay the full whack for that, because yeah, it is worth the money, to be fair. But it's in here, you'll see. I've just got a few boilies and crumbed them up because I forgot to bring any crumb. So I got bored, crumbed so many up and thought, oh, that'll do. So we're just covering the lead like that. Still looks good, you know. This is the pop-up rig going out. I have shortened it down 1 inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little PVA bag of the pellets I've got on as well, just as a little bit of a tractor. I mentioned about the GoPro. I'm going to show you in the edge. It isn't light enough yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get fishing because I want to get my rods out. I'm going to get fishing. If we catch a fish, then the rod that's not going to be used out there, I can hook another bag on, lower it in the edge and show you it there. And if we don't catch a fish by the end of the session on it, I'll do the same and you'll see why we did or we didn't catch a fish and what it looked like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get you on the camera stand, get that pop-up rig with a bag of pellets hooked on it, out in the bloody lake, and let's see if we can get bite number one. Okay then, let's go. This is going to be the right hand rod, pop-up, pellet bag, primer, paste, crumb, etc. all that. Let's go. Time for the middle rod now. Again, exactly the same. This one's got the wafter on it, again with a bag of pellets. Let's go. Time to get the third and final rod out, which is the left one. That is the bottom bait. Again, exactly the same. And we are off. All three rods are out. So a quick recap. Left hand has the bottom bait. Middle one has the wafter. The right hand one has a pop-up. If I just loosen my camera stand off, I'm trying to do it a bit coy. He's already hopping around down here. Right, let's put you back watching these. And here we go. I'm going to give it a maximum of 4 hours. When the viewer requested this, I was doing 3 hour slots. It's changed because of the winter. So now it's going to be a 4 hour slot. So maximum time to get all three rods with a fish on is 4 hours. I think the left hand one and the middle one I think is quite achievable. However, the pop-up again, yeah, I think that's going to be the one that could possibly hold us back. So if we could get that right hand rod done and dusted, as to speak, that would be a really good start. But anyway, I'll leave you watching these. I'm actually going to catapult another 3 or 4 bolts of bait out over there now, just to put a bit more noise in, a bit more scent in, see if it brings a fish in, because the leads might push them away a bit. I don't think so. Speaking of leads, that textured one, it feels a lot better to grip the paste round, but it's got a smell coming off it. I don't know if that's normal. I don't use textured leads, so if any of you do use them all the time, is it normal to have a sort of, I don't know, a burnt match kind of smell? You know, the sulphur that's burnt off a match or whatever it is, it's got that kind of smell to it. But whether that goes or not, I don't know. Whether that affects the fishing, I don't know again either, because I don't use textured leads. But yeah, if anyone does, just let me know, because it'd be interesting to know if I've got the norm or whether I've just got a smelly lead, basically. But anyway, I'm going to get some bait in and I'll leave you watching these rods. I've just remembered I've actually brought it. This is a Reuben heat and temperature gauge. It tells you the temperature of the water. The outside air temperature, it's telling me it's 5.4 degrees. I'm going to lower it in by the rods, just in the edge, and just see what it changes it to, because I think it's going to go down to about 4. But we shall see. So that's the bottom bait rod, that's already gone. I didn't think that one would take long. I've just lowered that in the edge as well, and it's gone up in temperature. The water is actually warmer than outside, which is a bit crazy, but I've got the first bite anyway. They all count. You don't want to lose any, especially on this one, because like I say, on the pop-up, if we get a bite on that, I definitely don't want to lose that one. The bottom bait rod, I think we'd get more than one if I put it back out, but the rules state one bite only, one rig, one rod. Let's go grab a net. Still got the paste on the lead, but fish number one in the net. That's the bottom bait ticked off. Happy days. So one of a possible 3 fish is on the mat. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look at you, shall we? Nice common. You've got a noticeable mark there. Let's have a look. Where are you? Oh, you're nailed. Hang on, let's roll you over because you laid on the rig. This is a very difficult one-handed, but are you still laid on the rig? Or the lead, I should say. Let's get that out so it frees you up. Right, let's roll you back. You're not a monster. You've been well. I was going to say you've been well behaved, but wow, that's proper nailed in there. Look, middle of the bottom lip. Happy days. I'll just pop that out. I'll have to pause you, pop it out, get him carp care kit treated, and we're going to sit him in the edge and get the GoPro out and see if we can watch him swim off. You'll have to excuse any background noise you might or might not hear. It's a digger just tracking on the lakes behind me. But what I've got is, got my GoPro stick. I don't know how this is going to go. I can't film me actually doing it. The next thing you're going to see after this clip is that GoPro underwater and hopefully that fish in the net swimming away. Don't know how this is going to go. It's a first for me, so let's see what happens, eh? Well, I don't know how that clip's come out, whether it's come out good, crap, I don't know. It's the first time I've done it. I'm just trying to include a bit more in the videos, you know. It's something I've got, something I can use. I thought, you know what, let's get a stick and let's have a go. So it's come out the way it's come out. It might get better, it might get worse, it might stay the same, who knows. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get tidied up. The rig we've just had the bite on, I'm going to hook a bag on it, lower it in the edge, push this underwater, and we're going to have a look how the rig sits, how it looks, how the bag's melted, etc. on the rod we've just got a bite from. Because we know it works, we've just landed a fish, we know the rig's all fine, etc. It works, it does its job, but what does it actually look like when it's out in the lake? So I'm going to do that in a moment. But before I do that, I'm going to walk over here and check the gauge now. Okay, I can see straight away that's dropped. So obviously now it's adjusted to the water temperature, and that is reading 4.6 degrees, that water out there. So the air temperature was 5.1, put it in the water, it's 4.6. So it's 0.5 degrees colder in the lake than it is out here. And I can tell you it's bloody cold out here, so those fish must be even colder. But they're still biting, aren't they? We've had one. So let me get tidied up, get a rig load in the edge, and I'll bring you back when it's time to dunk the old GoPro back under and see what the rig looks like. So I'm not sure how this clip's going to look either, because the water looks a little bit murky to me, but we've had a lot of rain and there's not a lot I can do about that. But what I've done is I've hooked another PVA bag on that. and I've held the line about a foot above the rig tube, and then I've sort of swung it out, let the lead swing back down and land how I imagine it to out in the lake. So as that sits in the edge there, I imagine it to be sitting very similar out in the lake. Got my old GoPro ready, and what I'm now going to do is press record, and we're just going to slide it under and have a look basically what it looks like and see how the presentation is on the rig and the setup that's just caught us the fish. In actual fact, we're not, because the middle rod's gone. So let me just rest my pro down there. Oh, finger in the clip. Let's put you on there. You can watch the fight. So this is bite number 2 of 3 required, and amazingly it's on the rig. Yeah, it's going to be the pop-up we're going to struggle on. I am actually going to move the pop-up after we've had this fish and sorted it out. I'm going to chuck it out in the zone I've just had 2 bites from. But that's where the interesting twist comes from, isn't it? The fact that I could now switch all 3 to pop-ups. I'm not allowed to do that. I've still got to fish 1 rod for the rest of the session, providing we land this fish. Bumping around like a decent fish, you know. But then it'll get like under the net and it'll be like £4. Doesn't feel like it's got much lighter, to be honest, for a change. Sped up a bit though, isn't it? Just started going a bit nutty again now. Nice. Happy days, 2 out of 3 done. Right, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave the fish sitting there, he's quite safe. I'm going to peg him down here, and I'm going to get that bloody pop-up in, and that's going out in the same spot we've just had pretty much 2 bites off. Well, that was a mad little burst of activity there. Things have changed since the last clip as well. The right hand rod, which had the pop-up on, has now moved to the middle rod and is fished over there. Still on the pop-up, just hooked a fresh PVA bag on, got it out there. Thought I've had 2 bites off that spot. I'm giving that the best chance. So far, this sort of video or request is going, yeah, pretty much as accurately as I predicted it would do. Bottom bait wafter pop-up. I'm just hoping we get one on the bloody pop-up, you know, because that is going to be the one. I did say at the start of the video, it'll be the one that makes or breaks it. So it's all down to that rod now. And I think if we get a bite, we're only going to get one, so I can't have it bloody fall off either. But I've just also done a little clip of this fella in the net, sitting there waiting to be unhooked. How well it's come out or not, I don't know, but I'm going to throw it in anyway. I've had to cover that over there, just because the bloody ducks and all that are going to try and get on it. We're going to get this fella out, get him unhooked and treated, and watch him swim back. Then we're going to go have a look at that and see what that looks like. Then this rig we've just caught this fella on, we're going to do the same again, put a bag, chuck it in the edge and see what that looks like. But before we do any of that, I'm going to show you this. Look at the water temperature now. 3.4 degrees. So it is dropping. And it's every bit that when you put your hand in the water, it is bloody freezing. But anyway, I think the best thing we can do is get this fella unhooked and get him back in his home. I've just had a look as I pulled my phone back out of my pocket. It's 8:52, so we are flying. We've got 3 hours and 8 minutes left to get a bite on a pop-up. Let's just have a little look. Again, absolutely nailed in the bottom lip, that one. Might be able to pop that out one-handed. No, it's proper in. These thinking anglers hooks, they do go in, but look at that. Anyway, let me get him unhooked and we'll get him back. Just going to show you this one before I put him back. He's got a nice frame on him. You're about, I don't know, 12 pounds, 11 pounds. Feels quite empty though, you know, when you can sort of, I'm only gently pushing him. Feels empty. He could definitely feed up a bit more. So we're going to get him back in the water now and we'll get him released. He is all treated, by the way. I'll just show you that down there. Carp care kit. Right, we'll get him back. While I've got the old GoPro in my hand still from releasing that fish, I'm going to move that net, and the next thing you see will be the bottom bait rig that caught the first fish. We'll see what that looks like underwater now, unless the unthinkable happens and the pop-up rod goes. Come on, 3, 2, 1. Could you imagine? Anyway, the next clip you see will be that under there. Well, I'm not sure what's happened to the weather, but you'll see I've got no hat on, no jacket on. These salopettes and boots are coming off shortly. It's come really, really hot, really quick. It's definitely moulded up to snow. What I've done is behind me, I don't know if you'll see it in the shot down there or not. Probably not, to be fair. The middle rod is all set up how you've just seen the bottom bait set up, which is on the left-hand rod. I'm now going to show you the same of the middle rod with a wafter set up, see what that looks like. And then we're going to get the kettle on because it's been a manic start. We're just over an hour in. We're 2 fish out of 3 down. Yeah, it's going well, and surprise, surprise, it's still the pop-up left to go. But let me spin round, show you what the setup is, then I'll show you the GoPro footage, and then we'll get the bloody kettle on and have a well-deserved coffee, I think. I'm not really sure why I'm bringing you back to show you the setup, but I'm going to. The bottom bait rod, which we've got the first bite on, that's sat on the buzzer. That's not going back out as requested. The middle rod, that's got the pop-up on it. Nothing's been tidied up yet. I have set the wafter rod up to show you what it looks like underwater. I've just walked back to check it. The bag has rolled away slightly from the hook bait, probably about 2 inches away. It's rolled down the little slope. That is relative to what's happening out there because we are on a bar out there, so that could well have happened. But the concerning thing is, which you probably can't see on this camera, but you will on the GoPro, is that bloody wafter's sitting up like a pop-up. So the pink corn I've tipped it off with, I believe was slow sinking corn. I didn't bother checking the rigs. It's a schoolboy error. Hold my hands up to that because I believed I had slow sinking pink corn. I don't think I'd bought any pop-up pink corn. Clearly I had, and clearly I've got a bit on there. So now what I'm thinking is that pop-up rig that's out there like 6-7 inches off the deck? Because if that's lifted a wafter to that point, has a pop-up with that on top of it lifted right up off the deck. So I'm going to have to bring that in after this clip and check it in the edge and show you, just to see if I've made a right Henry Halls up. If I have, I'll show it. If I haven't, well, yeah, it just proves we ain't caught now. But anyway, let me get the GoPro underwater and show you what that looks like. Well, I've got the pop-up in the edge, and I haven't made a balls up. I've got lucky. I've lowered it in thinking, here we go, it's going to sit off the deck, but it hasn't. It is sitting how it should do. It just hasn't bloody caught nothing yet. So I've got lucky there. Schoolboy error there, but never mind, it happens. But I'll just show you it. Whoa, easy now, look at that. That looks so bright and attractive, you know. When they go out of that white coating on, and then within like seconds, that's what they look like. I think that's a massive edge, you know. Someone looks at your baits, they look like washed out, but you're actually fishing a fluoro. I think that's a really, really good edge. Same with these wafters, look, because that's on the rest now. That goes out a bit like white, and then when it goes out, it becomes a fluoro. So 2 rods rested on the buzzers, not getting used again. This is getting a fresh bag on, thrown out over where we've had the bites from. I'm going to put a little bit more bait out, and then we are getting the kettle on. But hopefully you'll sort of see from the last 2 bits of GoPro footage how the rigs are sitting. So far we've caught on a bottom bait presentation, and well, I think the wafters become a sort of pop-up presentation. So it's no different to this, it's just a different colour, isn't it? It's all pink instead of pink and yellow. So maybe the pop-up will come good. Anyway, I'll get this out then, I'll see you shortly with a coffee. That's better, the old swim's a bit tidier. The rod is back out fishing how I imagined it to, which it just shows it hasn't done a bite yet. Hopefully it does. But like I say, it's a schoolboy error, and it's even how sure of something you are, you should always check your rigs. I mean, I thought with that putty on there, there's no way that pop-up could lift it. And the corn, I believe, was a slow sinking corn. It clearly isn't, because it lifted that wafter rig up. So whether I've got the wrong corn that's been put in the wrong packet from the shop I bought it from, I'm not sure, because I haven't got any pop-up pink corn. So that's the only thing I can put it down to. But like I say, it's one of those, I've got lucky, it just hasn't done a fish. But most YouTubers wouldn't even like add that in the video. They wouldn't admit they made such a schoolboy sort of beginner error, you know. But it is what it is. It's happened, it's done, I've owned up to it, that's it. As for owning up to something else, I'm owning up to these. We haven't seen these for a while. My miss said, I bet they don't go in the video. Well, you're wrong. Pop Dots, sharing moments. Well, I'm sharing the moment with you lot that I'm going to eat all these whilst the old kettle is boiling, because we're quite a way into this one. I had no bloody coffee yet, apart from the one I had in the dark before the video even began, really. Also, I've got something else to show you. I've been given some stickers for my bucket lid. Okay, 2 of them have come from my surf mate, who's a surf coach, and the other one has come from my missus. When I show you the bucket, you lot see if you can work out who's given me what stickers. Yeah, there you go. I'll let you lot work that out. But for now, I'm going to wait till the old kettle boils, have a coffee, and I'll probably see you down there for, yeah, you know what, the old thank you clip. But I'll probably have a load of strawberry Pop Dots around my lips by then as well. Anyway, I'll see you shortly. Cheers all, second one of the vlog. Right, let's start with the Pop Dots. They're all gone. Quite disappointing, won't be buying them again. They're not as nice as I remember them to be in the previous videos I've done here a few months back. So yeah, they're out. Secondly, let's get to the bucket lid with the stickers. I'm sure you've worked out who's bought what, so that's dealt with that. Thirdly, it's that coffee clip where I say to you lot, as always, thank you for the support you give the channel in whatever way you are supporting me, whether you're a subscriber, a casual viewer, a new viewer, someone who likes, shares, comments, all of the above. Whatever it is you do to support me, honestly, from me, thank you very much. It really is appreciated. Supporting me in the strongest way is by being a subscriber. So if you haven't, please consider it. It is free, there's no contract. You just click subscribe and that's it. If you change your mind or think we're bored of watching what you're doing, click unsubscribe and that's it. It's as simple as that. If you have subscribed or do subscribe, make sure you press the bell icon, because then you'll know when I release a video. If you don't subscribe, you can't do that. So my videos, they come out 99% of the time at 6 PM in the evening. So if there's going to be one, have a look after 6. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. If you don't subscribe or don't want to for whatever reason, just leave a comment below every now and then, or give the video a thumbs up or something, you know, just some kind of interaction. That really does help. But if you just want to watch the video, be left in peace, you're still supporting me by giving me the view. If you want to give me extra support, again, this is free. You can hype a video now. This is a new thing I've mentioned in the last few videos. I'm starting to get my head around it. You can't do it on a computer, I don't think. You can on a tablet, a phone, and I think on the TV, from what I can work out. The top comment, slide it to the left. There'll then be an option saying hype this video. I think you either slide that to the left or you press it, and that's it, you're done. You get 3 a week for nothing. Please don't buy them. just use your free hypes you get a week for nothing. But if you do watch other people, give them to as many as you can. So instead of giving one viewer 3 hypes, give 3 viewers 1 hype each, because then it helps everybody equally, if you wish to do so. But again, from me, whatever it is you do to support the channel in whatever way, honestly, thank you very much. It really is appreciated. Right, now we're going to get back to the fishing, and we're going to watch one rod for the rest of the session with a yellow pop-up on, sitting there with my fingers crossed that it goes, because if it doesn't, I've failed the sort of challenge request, but I've given it my best shot. So let's watch the rods, let's see what happens. Just before I put you on the stand watching that last rod that I really hope goes, and I hope it goes quick. A few things I'm going to point out. Firstly, I'm the only person here on the whole complex, so I've got 2 entire lakes to myself. I can fish where I want, how I want, and I'm fishing one rod pretty much central of the lake, end of January, with a yellow pop-up on, when I've got 2 rods sitting on buzzers that have both caught fish this morning. I can imagine there's people watching thinking, just get the bloody rods back out, get a few more fish. The problem with that is the request was quite clear. You get 1 fish on 1 rod, it stays on the buzzer till the time runs out then. That was quite clear. Secondly, those 2 rods, if I put them out there, they can actually work against me. What I mean is they could then catch a fish that may well slip up to the presentation I've got out there now, causing me to fail it. So I'm quite happy to leave them on the buzzers. That's why I'm finding it quite easy. A lot of people I know wouldn't. They wouldn't go fishing in January and fish one bloody rod on a colour hook bait that isn't my favourite. On a presentation, definitely isn't my favourite in here. But at the end of the day, I've only got 2 more hours to go through it, unless I get a bite. Because as soon as I get a bite, that's it. It's done. It's finished. Challenge is over, and I can get on with the next one. Worst case scenario is at midday it comes in. I've tried, it didn't work, you know. Secondly, you'll notice I've put my jacket and hat back on. The temperature is not as warm as I thought. It's obviously because I was sort of rushing around to get a fish back in, and then we got another bite, and I just got a bit warm in my suit. But no, it's definitely not warm outside. It's not as cold as the water. I've just checked the temperature on that thermometer again. It's 3.4, so it definitely is settled at 3.4. I'm not going to show you it again. Maybe the end of the video I'll be like, has it gone up or down? But I'm sure you're bored of seeing that. But for now, I am going to put you back on the stand, and I am going to put some bait in. You'll see there's no seagulls flying around. I haven't put any bait in. I'm going to put 3 catapults over that left-hand rod. That is going to be the final chance. It's not getting moved. It's not getting recast. It's getting 3 pults of bait. You're going to go on the stand and watch the rod. Hopefully it's going to go off, and it's job done. If it doesn't, I'll see you at midday with the older, sorry, I failed. I thought it's time we better do a little update, because nothing's happened. You've been sat on that camera stand for quite a while watching that single rod. I've also had time to sit on those steps there, make a little video explaining about my second channel that I'm starting up. If you've watched that by now, thank you very much. If you haven't, it's worth a look, but only if you're interested in beach related content. So if you're not interested in the beach or the seaside or surfing or anything like that, then don't bother watching it and wasting your time, because that's what it's going to be about. But if you are, have a look and you'll find out how to find it, etc., and what the name is. As for time, right, I'm going to run you through the time. We've got 40 minutes left. It's 20 past 11. Can't believe it. When I got this come through, when I got sent it on Messenger saying, Kev, can you do this as a request, viewer request, my first sort of look at it straight away when I read it, I was like, if I can get an early bite on the pop-up, we'll piss it. If I can't, it's going to be the one that fails it. And so far, that is the case, you know. We had, within the hour, both of those rods were done pretty much. I've now been fishing another 2 and a bit hours since. Nothing. So that pop-up's been out in the water since, I reckon, just before 8 o'clock, maybe 5 to 8. It's now 20 past 11, so yeah, we're knocking on 3.5 hours. Nothing. I can't do anything other than see the time out. If I wind it in now and move it, maybe that could produce a bite. I might well do that yet. Bring it in, throw it out in a different spot. I don't know. But as it stands, it's done nothing, and it's fished in the same area that I've baited and I've had fish from this morning. It's just, I don't get on too well with pop-ups in here. Where some of you commented on the other video I did saying, mate, I love pop-ups and I do really well on them. I just don't, you know. I don't know why. Someone commented saying, oh, do you think it's the colour? You could well be right, because the pink wafter, even though it is a wafter, it was presented like the pop-up is now, isn't it? I had a whole lot of full pink bait, whereas the pop-up is a yellow and a pink. So I don't know, do they just not go for yellow as much as pink in it? I don't know. It'd just be nice if one of them went for it and then we could get it ticked off. But it's looking, as it stands, like a fail. You know, I'm going to wind that rod in. I am going to put a fresh bag on it. I'm going to repaste it, re-dip it, and I'm going to throw it back out and hope that I land on a fish and it has it. You know, that's all I can do, I think. So I'm going to do that now. I'm not going to film casting it. You'll see the rod probably looking like it does now, but it will have had a recast. And we've got, like I say, 40 minutes left for it to go off. That's that rod refresh for the last time. It's been fresh paste, dipped, boilie crumbed, new PVA bag. It's gone back out pretty much on the same spot I've wound it in from, if I'm honest. And it's got 36 minutes on the clock to catch me a fish when it's had 3.5 hours up to now, and it hasn't. So yeah, the odds are not in my favour, but I've stuck to the script. It's kind of panned out how I imagined it to. I'm hoping that it ends with a bite on that rod, because that would be great to catch on all three. But I think we're most likely going to finish 2 out of 3. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you back on the camera stand, let you have the last like just over half an hour watching that rod. Hopefully it goes off. If it doesn't, I guess you'll be seeing it wound in and me saying sorry, it didn't quite work out. Let's hope I'm wrong and let's hope there's a fish. You can probably gather from no rod on the buzzer. Yeah, that means it's not happened, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame, because it started off so well in the last 3 hours. It's been a slog and it's just not happened. What I have done is I've brought the rod in, as I said I was going to. I've set it up, laid it in the edge there, got the old GoPro out on the stick, and we're going to see what this looks like underwater and work out if we can sort of determine what's made us not get the bite. Is it the colour? Is it the way it sits? Have I just been unlucky? I don't know. Well, I presume we are. I haven't checked any of the other GoPro clips yet, so this one could be just as crap as the other ones if they're not very good, but never mind. Anyway, next thing you see will be that rig underwater and what it looks like. That's shown you the final rig. I don't think I'll be using the GoPro anymore today. It keeps coming up low battery. I've got 3 batteries. I've just put a brand new one in, which is 94%, and it's turned itself off saying low battery. I think the water temperature is that cold, it's affecting the GoPro. Don't know. It's never done that before. Water temperature, let's have a look. Oh, it's come up. It's come up to a whopping 4.2 degrees. You can see my hands are like purpley red where they've just literally dipped in the bloody water. It's proper cold, you know, but never mind, it is what it is. Anyway, let me spin you around and do that outro. Look at this bloody lot here, look. Yeah, I'll let them go, then I'll do the outro. See you shortly. Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of this one, and it's a shame we didn't get one on the pop-up, because it would have been nice to get the full set. But going straight out there, I think it is possible to catch on that rig. I think you could catch on a bottom bait, a wafter and a pop-up. I think a Ronnie would do the same, a multi-rig, even a hinge rig, you know. I do think it's possible. I just think I've been unfortunate that it hasn't happened on this video. Has the colour got anything to do with it? Possibly. I mean, to me, the pop-up rig and wafter rig sat the same underwater. So why is one gone and why is the other one not? The only difference is the colour. Or have I just got unlucky that there's been no fish here? I don't know. But thanks to the viewer that requested this one. That was a good one. Well thought out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And to you lot that also have put your requests in, I will get to them. I've had someone request the Viper rig. I've not even heard of that. I haven't got a clue how to tie it yet. That's one that's coming up. Someone's asked for CHUB straight off the lead. The next one I'm doing today is like a double viewer request. So it's 2 requests, but I'm going to have to do it within the same video. Hopefully you'll join me for that one. But until next time, again, thanks for watching. Don't forget the old thumbs up, subscribe and all that business. And if you're out on the bank yourself, hope you've been lucky. And I'll see you on the next one.